if you really want to know just how dangerous Dr. Cornel West is really going to be, I give you Exhibit A because apparently Joan Walsh in Politico was not the only person who decided to write an article saying Cornel West should not run for president. Not, oh, you're going to hurt. This is get the hell out of this race. We don't want you here. You're going to.
It's so rude. It's so rude. Can I just say something very quickly? Because I have a prediction to make. Jimmy's interest or lack thereof regarding Cornel West will be directly correlated to whether or not Cornel is running with the People's Party versus running as a Green. And I think that if Cornel chose to run as a Green and thereby step away from this agreement with the People's Party, not only do I think that they won't cover him, but I think that they'll turn on him.
Yes, and I do think that that is absolutely correct.
They're so juvenile. Like they're belligerent children. That's what they're like over there. So that's what I would think. And
one thing I will say to Stevie about whether or not any of these channels are going to openly encourage people to vote for Joe Biden, we're not going to do that. And on top of everything else, what you have to remember is that you can see it, you can feel it in the air politically. It's not going to work anymore. No. It's not going to have the same effect that it once did. Joe Biden had a golden opportunity to drive this country in the right direction, and he chose to be status quo Joe at the worst possible time in our nation's history.
I actually reject that he's status quo. I would argue he's pushed backwards. So, sure. Status quo Joe might not have been so bad. Okay, status quo Joe is not somebody who does further drilling in Alaska. Status quo Joe doesn't agree to greenlight more pipelines. Status quo Joe, you know what I mean? Where he was status quo was on Trump's tax cuts. He was very status quo on that.
Yes, absolutely. Most, if not all of the things that he's been doing has been going in the wrong direction.
Correct.
And Kat, we did not have Jordan on tonight, but we wanted to obviously cover. We had Jordan on last week. He went on, he was on our show on Wednesday of last week. So go check that out. There's also a handful of shorts that are up with our interview with Jordan. There will be, I think, a couple of more clips that will be coming
He'll be
up.
Back eventually.
He will.
He'll make his rotation back.
Former President Donald Trump, the front runner for the Republican nomination, received some good news this week in his quest to be reelected president.
Oh, my God. Who wrote this? Please, who was this?
So this apparently is a person named Irv Randolph for the Philadelphia Tribune. In addition to Trump, several Republican candidates are making 2024 presidential bids, blah, 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 blah. The large number of Republicans seeking to become president and splitting the vote helps Trump, who has a loyal base of supporters in the GOP. Trump also received some help this week from a noted progressive. That is how they frame it. They frame it as, oh, this is helping Donald Trump because it's not helping Joe Biden. I don't know who reads this now and thinks that this is good, but it's really ridiculous. And at this point, you're kind of just laughing at it because to me, this is just funny now. This isn't even, it was one thing when they were doing it before and everyone was kind of feeling somewhat of a amount of shame, and Bernie was out there campaigning. So we definitely have to support Joe Biden because we can't allow Donald Trump to be reelected, and it's going to be bad. Well, we did elect Joe, and it's pretty bad.
Oh, it's bad.
Especially when it comes to the environment, it's even worse, if you can believe that.
I actually think that articles like this, because what this is, it's vote shaming. Okay, let's be very clear. This is vote shaming. And so, I think that people are not just sick of that, but I think it has the complete opposite effect.
Oh, it's going to inspire people to just go vote for Trump even more.
Well, not just that. That's going to inspire people to support Cornel West even more. It's like when you tell people what not to do, that doesn't usually work anyway, which is one of the reasons I don't support bans and mandates in general, because it just doesn't work. But this kind of sanctimony and condescension that has become so typical of, unfortunately, what is perceived as the left, but we don't think of as the actual left, but like the Democratic Party. This is so repulsive to people.
You don't like my music. You're absolutely right. That's the scariest thing. They know that if Dr. West gets any type of momentum, it will force the Dems left. They'll have no choice. Commie John, I don't know if I'm willing to go there. I think it depends on what base of the voter. If you're talking about voters over the age of 65, yeah, that's probably correct. But if
I actually think it's more than that. I think he is correct because the Democratic Party voters nowadays are not really the left. Most people, they have bled so many voters, and so many people that are new and young are registering as no party. So the reality is, if you are talking about Democratic voters, I think he makes a very valid point. I know a ton of people. They wouldn't say it out loud, by the way, because that sounds so ridiculous that you would rather punish Trump than give people health care. But I do believe that there are very many people that is what they would prefer.
Determic business?
Yes.
Did I say it right?
Yes.
Dore is an internet gangster. If you don't kiss the ring, he'll crush you. If he cared about the cause, he'd unite the online left, but he divides because that yields subs. Marginalize, not eliminate. Mm-hmm. I've got nothing to add to that. That is, there is a lot of truth to that. So what is of most importance now, Jen, and fellow audience members that we love having here. And by the way, if you haven't, please smash that like button, share, subscribe, do all those wonderful things we ask. We really appreciate it. If you think this article is bad already, this is going to get so much worse, it's going to make your head spin. Professor at both Harvard and Princeton universities. He is reckless with his rhetoric. For example, he criticized former President Barack Obama as a war criminal. Aren't all presidents war criminals?
Well, in my lifetime, they've been. Actually, ironically, Trump is the only one that didn't sort of start some mess.
Yeah, that is true. On his campaign,
I'm not saying he was good by any stretch, but I don't recall him starting an international mess.
On his campaign website, West mixes reasonable goals with a naive view of geopolitics.
That's so condescending.
He says he wants to end wars. That sounds good. Disband NATO. That also sounds good. Forgive all student debt. Expand Social Security. Dear God, he's really out of his mind now. And invest in clean energy. All right, that's it. We can't support this guy. He's totally nuts. He doesn't know anything. Throw the baby out with the bathwater. Am I right?
Well, yeah, but this doesn't even begin to get into what's really going to be a problem for him, which is going to be AIPAC. The fact that he is such a strong advocate for Palestinian justice that's going to be the easiest way for the Democrats to sort of eliminate him media-wise. They'll just hand it over to their, gangster, hitman AIPAC, and they'll let him do it for them.
I'm not even finished yet. There are several other problems with West's announced run for president. First, he appears to show disdain for Biden and Trump as if they were on the same level when there is no comparison. Okay.
That's awesome. Oh my God, that's so good.
Now, could you possibly live in a bigger contrived bubble than this Irv Randolph guy? Again, he's in Philadelphia, so it's not entirely surprising. West called Trump a neo-fascist and Biden a milquetoast neoliberal. Where's the lie?
I can't think of anything more just factually true about that.
And that's so much worse when he talks about Trump. Milquetoast neoliberal is being too kind to President Biden as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's definitely a lot of people who make comments about Cornel West in terms of policy and knowledge and foreign policy and all that stuff. But guys, here's the reality, okay? It really doesn't matter. He's not winning, okay? You're not worrying about that. That's not what this is about. So let's stop worrying about what he would do. What he would do is he would surround himself with extremely smart people, and he would surround himself with people that care about regular people and not killing people overseas. That's what he would do. I don't need to worry about the details of his foreign policy. It really is not relevant. That's what I wanted to say about that.
Okay. And again, it's going to get even worse. Biden is a pragmatic politician who may fall short of West's ambitious leftist vision, but he has achieved some impressive legislative victories that have helped ordinary Americans. Among other legislative successes, Biden pushed through Congress with narrow Democratic majorities a $1.9 trillion COVID relief package, a major infrastructure bill, which of course no one's going to talk about, because the infrastructure bill is a complete corporate giveaway. Yes, there will be marginal benefits that will come from such a multi-trillion-dollar package, but so much of that is not going where it belongs, and it will seldom help where it is desperately needed. You know, like Kalamazoo and East Palestine. Lower prescription drug costs for seniors. Well, let's see. The only prescription drug that was lowered in terms of its cost was insulin, and that was for seniors specifically. So making that out to be like some amazing accomplishment, modest gun reform, and major investments to combat climate change. Oh, you mean like the Willow Project and the Mountain Valley Pipeline? You mean like the fact that you have greenlit more drilling in this country in 2 years than Trump did in 4 years? We totally have to bring the oil here to America. You got to bring it home. Come on, man, I'll do you one better than that. And that, of course, is what happened. I can keep going.
I'm disgusted, but I'm not at all surprised. This is going to be one of many similar types of pieces that we're going to see. Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.